The first time somebody told me that I had no leadership skills, I cried. And then I went on to make one of the biggest entrepreneurial mistakes, and it almost cost me $10,000. It did cost me $5,000, but it also cost me 14 sales. So I want to go into what happened so that you are not making the same mistake, because I actually see this happening at all levels, not just in the startup journey. So at the time, I thought I had a sales problem, but I actually had a leadership problem. And it took one brave person on a sales call to tell me and to call it out. So what was happening at the time was I was working in a job that, of course, I absolutely hated. And I had gotten bitten by the entrepreneurial bug. So I had always been an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since I was like 14. But at this time, the calling was strong. Like I needed to leave this environment and I was desperate. I was launching my program called Fire Your Fat. Many of you might know me from there. And sales were going well. I had gotten my first few clients. Everything was going good. But then I hit a brick wall, as most people do. I was using the same script that I was using before, but I had 14 sales calls after that, and they kept telling me no. So I started to go into a panic. Then I started to doubt my ability to actually leave my job. I'm like, well, am I actually going to be able to do this? And so what ended up happening was there was this woman who kept popping up on my Facebook feed, and she kept talking about helping business owners. And I don't remember the exact marketing, but it was like tugging at me, like emotionally. Now, mind you, this is coming from somebody who is desperate, trying to leave a job. I'm a single mom of 3, and I am desperately trying to grow my business. I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to get out of this toxic environment. So when I was explaining to her like what my problem was and what was going on with me and the streak that I had, and now all of a sudden things are just not going really well for me, she said to me, "You don't have a sales problem, you have a leadership problem." And I'm like, what? I was confused. And then she really started like coaching me on this call. And I didn't know what to make of it. I was like, how did she know this? Like she was telling me all of this, almost like she was prophesying over my life or something. Like she was telling me like, you probably are doing this in your personal life, and this is probably happening in this. And I was just like, oh my God, like how did she know? And the tears were just falling. Like it was so dramatic. All the scenes, cue the violin. So the mistake that I was having was leading from a place of emotion and not leadership. And that's probably what she sensed when she was talking to me. I don't remember her name, but I wish I could go back and talk to her about what on that call made her say that to me. What was it about what I said that led her to that conclusion? Because still to this day, I have no idea. But what I do know is right after this call, I went on to make the single biggest mistake that I ever could have made from this call of desperation, right? I was inside of this coaching program already with this guy who was helping me with something to do with my personal life. And so I saw that he was getting clients, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's reeling in the clients. I was in his Facebook group. So this was how I was able to see that he was getting all these clients. And so I ended up contacting him and I said, hey, can you help me? I noticed that you have this program. Do you have anything else business-wise where you can help me? And he said, yes. He said that he did have this program, that it was going to cost me $10,000. Y'all, this was like the last $10,000 that I had. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I was really young in my entrepreneurial journey. I was a baby entrepreneur at this time. And so I was like, okay, I got 3 months, and I had done this mental math, and I just knew that I was going to be able to make this money. Needless to say, I did not make any money after working with him. It was just chaotic, okay, to say the least. But it leads to the point of my video of making decisions out of desperation. I see this on every level instead of sound decisions. So what it looked like was desperation, needing sale, trying to convince someone instead of evaluating if they were the right person for me. to do business with, trying to treat every call like it was a survival instead of leading the conversation and approaching it with curiosity and more from a grounded place, instead of holding authority in the room and being able to walk away if it wasn't the right fit for me. I think people could feel it. Prospects could see that I was desperate, and it really quietly changed the entire dynamic of the conversations that I was having. Let me go backwards to why I said I did not invest in this sales call and why this person who gave me this enlightenment also made a mistake. Because sales calls are not for coaching, they're not for convincing, they're not for persuading, they're not for any of those things. Sales calls, what I learned when I actually hired the correct type of person to help me, which was my sales success coach, is for leadership conversations. They're decision-making environments, and they are for mutual evaluation. Your role is not to get them to say yes, it's for you to determine if you two are the right fit to even work together in the first place. Now, the thing that I learned along the way from that moment where somebody told me that I had no leadership skills to running a very successful business and having a $10,000 month after I found the right sales coach, to then going into a position of leadership and being a financial director, all of those things taught me this one thing, that you have to have core principles that are guiding your decisions. That as a leader, you should not be leading from an emotional place. A lot of leaders that I see are leading from a place of fear and not guided principles that are keeping them grounded. And that's what I teach, is for you to have leadership anchors, or what I call authority anchors, that guide your decisions and help you hire people. It's what helps you decide of who you're going to do business with. It helps you decide what products you're going to launch. It helps you decide what systems that you're going to put out there. When you have those anchors in place, it really helps you have a grounded center as to where you make decisions from. And that's what helps you get to the revenue and the outcomes that you're wanting. It wasn't until I started connecting to my authority anchors that I started seeing results in my life, that I started changing the dynamics of teams, that I started being able to create the systems and hire the people and put the people in the right seats. And I started feeling grounded as leader myself and making those decisions that made me feel more aligned, that closed that gap between leader and authority and made them feel more connected. If you recognize yourself in any part of this conversation today, then I want you to download the root cause, because it's going to tell you what steps you need to take in order to install authority anchors inside of your company and inside of your team, so that the decisions can stop being filtered only through you and they can be filtered through the ones who have ownership. And you can focus on doing things like running the business and creating the revenue and growing the business. So, click the link in the description so that you can download the root cause.